It wouldn't have cost us nothing, that's just Rick Wilson's kid, he'll come up with it.
We're just concerned about the power lines.
Those two power lines.
Because there's definitely power going out to that pavilion. So.
Yes.
See, nothing was ever documented, you know, when they did things like this, running power lines, they never drew any schematics or anything of where that stuff was, so we got nothing to, you know.
We don't even know the boundary of our park, so.
we got that right.
That's what I want to put in the budget.
Oh, yeah.
I want those surveys for our parks,
Yeah.
park surveys. Okay, sorry to jump back on that. Okay, so, well, that's good. I'm glad that the water, the second pavilion's going to be done. So, now I put fence repair and, but what I was talking about for this was we had discussion from the, when I read the minutes, that fence along the boundary or the border of, down by the beach where the tree fell on it, that fence needed to be repaired immediately. Are we still saying that has to come out of this year's?
Well, I guess it depends on whether we want to. I don't know where the immediately came from because it's been down for probably 30 years.
Oh.
You know, quite possibly if we wanted it done by a fence company, we could roll it into that estimate, you know, with the tennis court repair.
That'd be a good idea, I'd take a look at.
Is everybody okay with that? Is putting that in there?
So, you know, we gotta get that tree off, you know, off that fence line anyways.
Yeah, he's gonna bring that mini excavator over here for that, we'll run down there, and get that tree out of there.
Okay. So we'll put 2020. You know, we never really then made a decision on those cameras. You know, do we want to revisit that yet this year? I don't think we would put any up yet this year, but do we want to spend those dollars this year to get something?
Well, it's not gonna hurt.
You could see what a webcam would cost and go from there.
Again, the question came with that webcam is who's going to monitor it, who's going to pull the data off of it,
And how do they
and
access
how do
it?
you access it, that was the issue.
Yeah,
I don't even know anything about webcams, so.
well, apparently it's just got a chip in there, you know, you put the thing up and runs for about 30 days, you pull the chip out and plug it into your computer, and there it is.
But then, who's going to do that?
Who's gonna do? We could look at it live too, right?
Yeah.
It would be, okay.
But it's gonna be up in the tree.
Well, if it's live, no, if it's
You
live,
have
you got a
to-
whole different system.
You have to have
Is
an
it?
internet
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
You have to have a Wi-Fi connection or something.
And it's a whole different
Oh.
system.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a security system.
Oh, that's what I meant by a webcam, I guess, is kind of a twofer, but I didn't realize that, okay.
Yeah, what we have this year.
I was gonna say, I think when we do the signage, I think we should just have under surveillance.
And just,
Let them go with that.
okay, were there other projects that people wanted updates on?
Well, the tree trimming.
Yeah.
Sue and I
Oh, okay, yeah.
went out and identified the trees that we thought needed to be trimmed or removed, and indicated those with, there was an orange dot on the ones that were to be trimmed, and we put an X on the ones that really needed to be, you know, removed because they were leaning more than a 45-degree angle, like Sean had pointed out to us, or there were some that were actually cracked and ready to fall down. So we did that, and now we're just waiting on.
I think, well, I talked to the Bursons, but he was like, talk to me after Labor Day. So, if nobody wants to talk to you before Labor Day. Well, okay, when Bob and I went, below the hill, there were 3 trees that we felt should come out, and one up here by the tennis court. And then trimming, there were 3 trees below the hill that should be trimmed, and 2 along the road over on the south side, that would be. And then that pine tree that is such a mess at the bottom, you know, Bob said just they would bring a chipper and chip it.
Oh, the branches.
Oh,
Yeah,
branches.
There was a white pine
really bad.
that dropped, and they just pulled the branches off the road and just threw them in.
Yeah.
So we should get those chipped
was that if we cleared off to the south of that second pavilion, it would
Be
make it
a
a
lot more
lot
sunlight.
lighter, and hopefully the moss won't be growing on the roof. Yeah.
And so we looked at that one tree by the tennis court that you were thinking of just trimming, but it was like, this is the tree, and then there's like two big branches that are hanging over the court. But once you took those two branches down, there was nothing else left of the tree.
Yeah.
So that might be another, it has a dot, but you might want to change that into an
We
X.
dotted it, but after looking at it,
Yeah. If you take off the two branches that are interfering with the tennis courts, there's nothing left.
Yeah, I thought there was still some long time ago.
Not
That would
much.
be a discussion
Okay.
with the tree trimmers. But that's something that one was like high priority. And then there's a dead ash that's right next to it.
But that was really bad.
Completely dead, that's gonna fall, then we'll have
Then
a lot more
we'll-
fence repair.
Yes.
The beach art disease trees, when those are cut down, do they have to be removed from the park completely in order to prevent the spread of it, or do the arborists usually just cut it and leave it in the park since the tree's already infected, or?
I mean, I would like to see it done, you know. That alone isn't gonna, I mean, there's so much in there right now.
Yeah,
You know, there's, the beach scale is all over, you know.
Yeah, there seems to be no end to that.
I could shoot it over to Shauna and kind of clarify how to, if that would help, or it would just be a waste of money. And then you don't want the person who takes the tree out to chip it and then sell the chips, or use it someplace else, because wouldn't that make it spread, or?
I don't know anything about it.
I don't either.
Birch trees beach trees die so fast.
No, that's, I got 3 of them right by my place up north. There's nothing I can do about it, They're on the neighbor's land, hopefully I can get a hold of him and he can dump them over on his place. But yeah, it just peels it right down and they die.
They were finding that for some reason, some of the beech trees don't seem to be affected, which is a good thing. But it's not like 100% kill, but it's a pretty high percentage.
Well, you can spray them, but I think the cost of spraying is probably greater than
Oh, yeah.
removing them, And out here, it's like we hurt for trees or anything,
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about with, when, I was in there with Shauna, and, she could probably, or we can ask her questions stuff when she does the presentation, but, that was one of the points is that, there is room to, thin out a bit, and, getting some natural thinning with the beech trees.
Yeah. Well,
Well-
we're gonna, I would think that the next work session or something, we're gonna have to walk around out there and get an idea.
Well, I think in the budget, wasn't it $2,500?
Yeah,
And certainly our priority is the tennis court, the trees over there.
And that one down at the end of the first stairway, wasn't there one down on the beach that was really bad?
There's
One is-
our birch tree that's, I think it was around number 4, that has actually cracked near the base and it's still hanging up, but it's gonna fall, and it's a good sized tree. That one is extremely high priority.
For the grant, the activity center grant, that's been submitted to the Community Foundation for Muskegon County for $10,000. And then I'd like to submit a grant to Howmet as well. I kind of put together a little presentation. The Compan has a couple think tanks on sports play and also kid play as well, and they have a lot of publications. And then for each of the equipment that's going to go into the activity center, they say why that's important for kids to have that kind of play. And when I was working on the grant with Bob and his brother was a longtime educator, retired from it, and they were saying, his brother was saying how, playgrounds get kids ready for reading readiness and all that, and I thought that was kind of overarching, and then he explained, no, that the lack of crossover play in children And balancing activities are keeping kids from being reading ready because it helps develop the front part of the brain. Tell me if I get this
It was
wrong.
interesting, I had never realized that, but he said and he pulled them up, there's like hundreds of studies
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
found that was true, and I never.
And
realized
risk
that.
taking is really important for kids as well. So you gotta kind of balance the playground equipment, how much is too much of a risk, but how much, should they have in there? Because that's an important part of kids' development too, and there's like these climbing blocks in there with handholds that, have an element of risk, but they're also a lot safer than the metal, I don't know what you call them, jungle gyms that they used to have, but, so there's a lot of information in there that I think we could use in a grant, and the helmet grant, I just looked over it a little bit, it seems like it's pretty simple to apply for, it's nothing like the Community Foundation, but they do have a 90-day waiting period. So I put together,
Waiting, you mean?
from the time you apply,
Oh.
yeah, it takes like 90 days for them to tell it. But I was gonna ask you guys if we were to, we could say, hey, you can donate the ship, because there's quite a deficit in the budget, between what we were gonna ask for and what they told us we could ask for the Community Foundation. So if we were to say, hey, would you like to sponsor, there's like a ship part in there, can we put we'll put a plaque on there saying,
Assess on it.
provided by, Helmet or something?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Something we could, because I think that would make it a lot more appealing, but, and then I have,
So you guys have already picked out the equipment then?
Well, we didn't even really, with the grant, it didn't really ask us for, who we were going with or even submitting the actual plan, so, that's still open. But the activities parts of it, there was a lot of similarities. When I got the proposals, I asked them to, put together similar playgrounds.
Sure.
They're just
So you
different
could
companies
do
that are
apples to
doing it.
apples.
Yes.
Shouldn't we first determine how many square foot the playground this is gonna take up?
I think
What's this
we've
gonna
already
take us?
got he's got the plans for that and the
Because,
equipment.
we gotta know, we're gonna make a better spot out there. We clear out that brush and open up that sucking pavilion or something. We got an idea how many square foot we're gonna use.